All right. This is the Revoltage podcast.
Doop.
So guess what happened?
Nothing that we predicted.
Well, there was like two things.
I think we got two things right. Kinda.
We're good at this.
Yeah.
I swear we're professionals.
Yeah.
I swear we're not just two dudes in a room somewhere.
Just two dudes in a room just guessing on shit we know nothing about.
All right, so we just got done watching Wrestle Kingdom. And by just, I mean like literally 30 minutes ago. And by 30 minutes ago, I mean we like waited a long time to do this thing.
I was about to say, I was like, what? No, we didn't. You're lying to these people. No, we watched it last night. Started about 5 and did about 11.
Oh my gosh. So first off, let's talk about how terrified we were of spoilers.
Oh my God. You know what? I chose the Logan route on this one. And I was like, I'm not going to get on social media. I'm not, because, for those of you who don't know, which I don't think is very many, but New Japan basically takes place in Japan, obviously. So Wrestle Kingdom came on at 2 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday night here. So we had to wait until Thursday after we were done with work at 5 to watch it.
And I think we signed off about 11 o'clock that night, and we just sent messages to all our wrestling buddies, and we were like, hey, here's the deal. No spoilers. Yeah. Nobody talks about Wrestle Kingdom until we've all seen it. Nobody says anything. Don't share anything. Don't do anything at all whatsoever.
I did not get on. I avoided Reddit and Instagram and YouTube and everything pretty much.
Me and Pat made a blood pact.
A blood pat?
Ew.
Well,
yes. Yeah.
You did a blood oath.
And by that, I mean he sent me a picture of a bloody hand on a GIF.
I sent that.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Well, apparently.
Because I was part of the blood pact.
I forget who is in the blood pact. It's just a mess of blood and guts and diseases.
Viscera. And
just spread around between the group now.
It is.
But yeah, but we made it, dude.
We're like a party in the 60s.
The final boss, man. The final spoiler boss was
we were worried.
Firing up the Fire TV. And we were so scared because we'd made it so far and didn't have any of the spoilers come our way.
We were so worried that we were going to turn on that Fire TV and it would be like a picture of like Okada holding the belt or something.
Yeah, or like Naito wearing the belt in the post conference or something like that. And I was like, hey, luckily Kellan took the bullet on that one and watched it, and he said there was no spoilers, and we fired it up and got to watch 6 hours of amazing matches that all led up to one huge disappointment.
I agree.
It was fantastically horrible.
One of the best shows ever. Was one of my least favorite endings.
Oh god! So if you guys didn't listen to the pre-match, we were all for Naito taking the belt tonight. I mean, we were super excited about finally Naito was going to have his chance. 4 years in the making. There was no way that they were going to have Okada retain the belt and just keep doing what he's been doing for the last year.
We thought that there was literally no way that could happen. That was almost an impossibility, not just an improbability. There was an impossibility that Okada would walk away with the title again.
And I said the only way it would happen is if New Japan, if Goto, Vince McMahon does and just did it for the sake of being unpredictable.
Guado? The guy from Star Wars? The one from Star Wars? Wasn't
sure, why not? I don't know.
Guado? Wasn't he the one that was like the flying thing from
I think that was
episode
Goldo.
1?
No. Goldar.
From Power Rangers. We are all over the place.
How nerdy can we get here?
I don't think any more than that.
But yeah, so I think that really, our immediate reaction was just pure disgust.
Wado. That guy's name was Wado, not Guado. Wado. Sorry. But yeah, disappointment. We were very salty.
Yeah, we were so upset. It was one of those things where I think I had the blanket in my face, screaming 4-letter words, 5-letter words, 6-letter words, 10-letter words. I made up some 15-letter words for it.
I was up in the TV's face.
It was bad. Because this was Naito's moment to shine. And there's...
Our friend James literally texted us today or messaged me today and said, Hope Kellan and Logan's butts have healed from Okada's win last night.
It hasn't.
No.
It's going to heal at next Wrestle Kingdom because Okada's going to hold it for a year.
God, boy, we were salty. I still am. I still am.
Here's the deal.
We can talk about this. We can let's do this. Let's review. Let's go over the matches.
How about we start from the top?
You want to start from the top?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
All our beautiful, lovely viewers and
Yeah.
listeners here are here to hear us talk.
That's true.
About
Let's do that. I like that.
Senor Okada
That's true.
versus Monsieur Naito. He's French, right?
I think you have several different languages mixed up here. Senor Okada, Monsieur Naito, Monsieur Naito.
Yeah. So, I mean, what does Okada do from here on out that he hasn't already done?
He's Superman, dude. That's the whole point. Like when Pat texted me last night, and we were talking about this. I said I don't like Superman for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason that this irritates me so bad. I get it from a storyline. I get it from a perspective of a business thing. I mean, the dude's over AF. The dude is, he's so over. People love him over there.
But is he the big dog now?
He's been the big dog.
I mean, is this his yard now?
I fucking hate you. I was trying to go around it. I was trying to like swerve it. I was like, I don't want to buy into this crap. I don't want to compare anybody in New Japan with Roman Reigns.
So is he Roman Reigns or is he Super Cena?
Who? Okada?
Mm-hmm.
He's on a whole nother level.
I'd argue this. I'd argue that he's Super Cena because at least the crowd loves him.
I even made
the crowd. I was surprised to hear the pop out of that.
Dude, I even commented on his hair and said that he did that just to show that he was Super Saiyan.
He went Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Because he's Superman. He's Goku. He's unbeatable. He's invincible at this point. Like, there's nobody that has beaten him. There's nobody that it seems like can. Mm-hmm. And it's like every thing they put in his way, it's nothing. Yeah. They build it up, and just like a Superman battle, just like a Goku battle, they take him to the limit. They take him to the very brink.
Right to the tippy tap.
Right to the tippy tap. And then what happens? He wins. He pulls it out of his ass and wins.
Yeah. So you mentioned something with the storyline. My gut reaction to the match was, this is pointless. This is awful. Wrestling's terrible. It's all fake. I hate it. I'm done. But
pretty sure we were both
were, yeah.
Yelling that quite a bit.
Yeah. But that being said, I do think that there is some logic behind this.
Oh, I think so too.
After thinking about it, after processing it, after sleeping on it, and
I think so too.
After a lot of drugs,
out of copious amounts of heroin,
I had to deal with it somehow.
I have to cope.
I ended up finding, people were saying that, maybe the storyline is, there's a couple different ways. Maybe the storyline is that Naito is holding on to is it Stardust? I don't want to say that wrong, but I think it's Stardust. Basically his old persona,
right? Because
he pulled the 540 crazy flippy thing that he does, and that's part of his old school. That was when he was with Tanahashi and doing all that stuff. So he was going old school and not sticking to his Tranquilo roots, which is what got him to where he is today. And for him to be able to best Okada, he's going to have to tap into and let Tranquillo be like the number one. He has to fully transform into Tranquillo. What do you think?
I'm glad you said Tranquillo, because the first time you said Tranquillo.
Tranquillo.
Tranquillo. No, I agree. I think, I immediately said, after when we were super irritated, I said, okay, they're going to do two. They're obviously going to do a program now. Like, I get that. They're building up a program. How long until we get to that? Who knows? It may be a while, maybe 6 months. It may be Wrestle Kingdom next year. Who knows? But it could be like, Kenny and Okada whenever they had 3 matches, almost what seemed like back to back. They weren't, but I think that there is.
They were very close in succession.
Yeah, I think there is a story there. I think that. Obviously there is. Obviously they have something planned. They have something building. You know what I mean?
Which is nice to say, because in the WWE, there are times where I'm just like, they don't know what they're doing. Nobody knows what's happening right now.
I think that goes with with our predictions. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like WWE is not easy to predict, but I feel like it's... Dude, I mean, our predictions were way off for this. on most of them. I mean,
I had more predictions right than you did. Thanks.
We had all the same
Suzuki.
ones except like one.
Yeah.
That one. I was like, dude, all our predictions were the same.
Yeah, no, it was. And this is a lesson too. I mean, it shows that New Japan is not as predictable as we once thought it was. I mean, and I think maybe they save some of the swerves for Wrestle Kingdom because really everything led up to Wrestle Kingdom. So with Naito, I think it was easy to predict that Naito was going to win coming up to Wrestle Kingdom because there was no way they were going to give that chance away to somebody else.
Well, and the thing is, I think that going back to the story, I think that they're setting that up super they're building something. Mm-hmm. And as we saw, and we can talk about this a little bit later, I don't want to get too much into it, but as we saw on the New Year's Dash show, they are building other things. Which
we definitely watched and didn't just read a synopsis on. We definitely
watched a little bit of it. I watched pieces of it, but
I watched a Twitter clip of it.
But it was an Instagram clip, first of all. But it was 3 clips. It was like 5 minutes long.
I might have seen more of it than you did.
Possibly.
Because I actually watched 2 matches over lunch.
Well, it's just one of those things that they are building something. There's more happening than we are aware of. Looks like a lot more happening than we are aware of. So, obviously there's a plan. Obviously they're building something for Naito. Do I think that at some point Naito is going to get the title? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. When do I think that's going to happen?
That's the question. That's the question for me. Here's the deal. By putting the belt on Okada right now, you have essentially pushed back everyone's timeline. You've pushed back Naito's championship run, which he has to have at some point. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if he doesn't ever win a championship? I guess he's already won it, but
he did
in his return and in his if this storyline ends with him not getting the title, I'll be super salty for the rest of my life. Put it on my gravestone. Naito should have won.
For the rest of your life.
2018, Naito should have won. Yeah. And the other thing is, okay, so we know Naito needs it. Yep. Kenny Omega needs it as well. Yep. And so those two guys, surely Kenny's not just comfortable with keeping the U.S. belt forever.
Obviously
he's going to have to go after the heavyweight title at some point. So
that's what I'm saying. I think there's just
they're also like 36 years old or something.
There's a bigger plan in play. There's a bigger thing. And the thing is Okada, even though he's invincible at this point, he can only go for so long.
Well, somebody brought up a good point. They said fan fatigue. People are just going to get tired of his championship run.
Just like, dude, he's Superman.
Yeah.
People who really like Superman.
Really weak and,
that's what I'm saying.
Insecure people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, real people.
I'm just kidding. If you love Superman, I love you.
Real people who like.
I just don't love Superman.
Like superpowers, comic characters, and they don't want to see. Yes, they want to see their favorite win, but after a while, it's like. Even if you love Dragon Ball Z, it's like, we get it. Goku's the strongest on the planet. Awesome. Yeah. Great. He'll never be beaten. But that leaves a lack of... That leaves so much to be desired.
And there's so many more storylines involving Naito. And here's the deal. I really hope they didn't drop the title pass, the changing of the guard, just so they could do this little Jericho Naito thing that's going on now.
Well, we'll get to that, but
we can talk about it.
But I think that it maybe they did. Maybe that was the whole plan all along, and maybe they're building something. But the fact of the matter is, we have no idea. Mm-hmm. If we're just looking at the facts here, I'm salty that Okada didn't win.
Yeah.
I think he should have won. I think that at this point for me, or Naito should have won. Sorry, I think that Okada is super OP. I think that he's. Like I get with Superman, like I get with any character that's just unbeatable. They're boring. Yeah. I don't like it.
Well, and to rub salt in the wound, Okada did all this wearing pants.
I was waiting for you to bring up the pants.
Wearing pants made out of an Oriental rug. I was waiting for you to bring up the pants.
So here's the thing. You, Logan, bitched about these pants so hard. And I was like, okay, dude, I don't get it. I was like, whatever, they're pants. Let it go. So today... There was such backlash for these fucking pants. Dude, I read so much more about the pants than I did for all the rest of New Japan.
Dude, he looked like a fashionista cowboy. It was so bad, dude. They were awful. So not only did he win, but he did it wearing the most obnoxious over-the-top pants I've ever seen in my life.
I know my new gimmick, dude. It's going to be the fashionista cowboy.
Los Rudosos is done.
We're done with the fashionista cowboy.
Panda's out. Cowboys
in. Mount up, stranger. Oh, God. Well, obviously, like I said, I think they're building something. I think that, and then we can, well, we'll talk about this in a minute, but obviously they're building something with Chris Jericho. They're building something with that. This does not make Naito any less over. Even though he lost, he's still over as shit. I mean, he's still over. Like when he came out, and I did see him come out in the. Excuse me. I did see him come out in the New Year's Dash, dude, and it was a huge pop.
Yeah.
People I mean, it doesn't hurt him. I think in Japan it's a little different.
It is.
And I think that eventually he'll get his shot, and I think eventually we'll see it. But right now, maybe this is good. Maybe this is to lure people into a false sense of security. Maybe if people just get used to Okada having the belt, they'll just think, okay, he'll never not have it. And then when he loses it, it makes it that much better. Everybody was expecting Naito to take that belt. Mm-hmm. Had he done it, then we would have gone, me and you both would have gone, okay, great, awesome, sweet, Naito's the new champ. Because he lost it, look at the emotion that it got out of us. Look how pissed off we were. So when he loses it...
I punched a cat.
Dude.
A little baby cat.
A kitten. I punched a beautiful little kitten in the face.
It was.
Now when he loses it, we're going to be so fucking happy that he lost that title.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean?
And here's the deal. I like Okada. I think he's great for the sport. I think there's definitely there's a place for him in this. And there's as long as they're doing a storyline here, I'm fine with it. You know, how this turns out down the line can be really interesting as long as they spin it into something.
Sure.
What I don't want is them just to be doing this for the sake of unpredictability for no reason whatsoever. Like, just to be like, you guys all thought Naito should have won. Every road pointed to Naito winning. We all should have expected Naito to win. And then, just kidding.
That could be it, because, I mean, that's part of wrestling. I mean, that's part of it. You know what I mean? They could have just trolled everybody, but...
Just to throw away.
I imagine, though, that that's not it. I imagine that it's building to a program.
I do have trust in New Japan. Now, if this was WWE... It would...
Oh, that would be it.
No story.
No, that would
whatsoever.
be it. That'd be it. The program would be over. The lead up would be over.
Like who pulled the briefcase, man?
Dude, the funniest thing, I got to give Pat some credit, because he said when we opened up the conversation, he said, "Man, that show was really great." And I just text back and said, "Fuck Okada," and he goes, "Yeah, he's the Japanese Triple H."
Yeah. Just burying dudes left and right. Yeah.
But I mean, but overall, I mean,
let's talk about the match for 2 seconds before we go on. But what did you think about the actual match itself?
I mean, it was good. I liked it. It was boring. I will say it was boring.
Very technical.
It was a very technical match. It was
very unexciting.
It was very unexciting. And don't get me wrong, I don't want anybody, to think that I don't respect. I am not one of these people that enjoys just fast-paced, flippy shit. I like a cold, calculated, slow, meticulous match.
I'm just wondering why Okada didn't do a red arrow to finish off this match. I mean, what kind of match are they trying to build here?
Yeah, what the hell? There was no dives.
He gave him a clothesline. Like, what the heck?
The deal is, I like I was saying, I like a slow, meticulous, thought-out match. I love that.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between a slow, thought-out, meticulous, psychological match and just a slow match. Mm-hmm. I felt like this match, it wasn't slow for the sake of being strategic and meticulous and psychological. I felt like it was slow for the sense of being able to have a long match.
Yeah. That
they were going slow so they could go a long time.
Yeah.
Now,
it was like a 25-minute match stretched out to 45 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And in the last 3 minutes were balls to the wall. And it was totally wonderful. It was the best part of the match.
Yeah. So this is my, I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat. Okay. What if, I'm going to channel my inner
Is this the what if you said earlier?
Yeah. What if.
A little far-fetched.
I mean,
I think.
Okay, so, but knowing New Japan, knowing how dedicated they are to their storylines,
Yeah, sure.
what if they intentionally sandbag the match so Kenny and Jericho's match could outdo them? It's the same thing that's been happening to Naito all along. He went for the championship and went to main event the Tokyo Dome, and the crowds turned on him, so he got in the shadow of somebody else. Here he is after all of this, rebuilding, restructuring. He's got the favor back with the fans. He's more over than maybe anybody in New Japan. And then double main event.
Right.
This is his time to shine, and it's overshadowed by the insane no disqualification match where they're jumping off the ring into tables and monitors and doing, chair spots and all this stuff. And then they put on this slow, slogging, methodical, kind of expected match. What do you think? Is it to tell the story that he's in the shadow of Kenny Omega, or he's always in the shadow of somebody else, and he will have a specific moment that will be his sole moment?
Maybe that. I think you are super Kenny Omega biased. I think you put so much more fucking... I mean, don't get me wrong. Kenny Omega is like really over there. He's one of their main players and one of their biggest guys. But the way you talk about it is like, okay, everything is based around Kenny Omega.
I'm not saying that. I'm simply look. Don't spin it that way. Spin it this way. Say it's Naito is in the shadow once again when this was supposed to be his moment to shine. So he loses, and they didn't want him to lose in spectacular fashion because they have this storyline where he's still for 4 years has tried, and he's still in the shadow of everything else around him. And then when it's his moment, it's going to be nobody else on the card doing anything fantastic, and he is going to be the saving grace that pulls New Japan from the depths and is the greatest thing ever of all time.
I wouldn't say that they're in the depths at the moment.
But if they put on a weaker match,
I agree. So
how do you follow up that Kenny match?
So I think you maybe I think parts of what you're saying are correct, because as we saw, when you with your prediction when you had for the Omega,
the no DQ,
the no DQ match, with your prediction on that, which we were way wrong. For prediction wise, as far as here's what I think is gonna happen, and everybody was like, "There's gonna be run-ins." There was no run-ins. No. There was gonna be all this crazy shit happening because it was a DQ. I mean, there was, but not as much as we thought there was gonna be. There was a lot more wrestling. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. I think, but now what happened was after the fact. Now we've gone to the New Year's Dash. That. And this is a spoiler for those who haven't seen it, but after the New Year's Dash, Naito basically said he did not appreciate having to share the card. Yep. He didn't like that his spotlight was taken because he had to share the card with Chris Jericho and this guy who comes over from WWE and all that, and then is attacked by Chris Jericho. So then they're building up now something with Chris Jericho and Naito, which is really cool because everybody thought that Chris Jericho was going to be a one and done, that it was a one-time show and done.
It still is, though. They're just, we forgot he's got to go back home.
Right, and he probably will. But I think what happened is this is going to happen. They're going to they're building something because if you watch that deal, Chris Jericho was freaking out, dude. He was throwing shit and the stuff that Naito was doing with the chair when he just sat in it.
That
was
the
so badass. The way they played it, Naito's still such a badass. And I genuinely, when I saw that, which I at first was like, oh God, what are they doing with Jericho? But then I legit got excited. I was like, dude, Naito Jericho would be awesome.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't know that he had come out earlier on and said that about him. So when I saw that,
he was in the ring at the time.
Yeah, but I saw that. I just saw the clip of him coming out and I was just like, oh, come on. You guys are just doing the same thing with Kenny. But then hearing that he called him out, and that was the reason why he came out.
That's why I did it.
Great reaction.
Yeah, because he was basically saying, why should I have to spare the spotlight with you just because you're a WWE guy?
Right. Now imagine him saying that. So they obviously knew that was going to happen.
Right.
They knew that, and they know that they've got Chris Jericho right now.
Right.
That, I mean, who knows? Maybe Naito was supposed to win, but then they're like, we got this Chris Jericho thing that we need to take advantage of right now because we won't have him in 3 months once he goes back. So the question there is, if he puts on if Naito puts on an amazing match and does, steals the show, the entire show, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho just do okay, pretty good match, 4 stars something, then he can't say, you stole my spotlight. I can't believe you did that. He doesn't have any room to say that because he would have put on an amazing show, but because he put not the best performance, he's been in much more grueling matches.
I don't think his performance was bad. I just think the match as a whole was just not the best.
It was just the layout of the match. I mean, that wasn't exciting, but that's something that you can control.
Yeah.
You see, like we know he's capable of doing more in a match than that.
Right.
So that's my tinfoil hat theory. That's my
maybe, and we'll see. We'll see, just like with anything else. We'll see.
And New Japan is dedicated to their storylines, man. I mean,
but ultimately, I think I would give, if I were to give it like a rating for the Okada Naito match, like as far as like a letter grade, I would say it was like a. Maybe I could be generous. It's a B-.
Yeah. If I were to give it a rating based on emojis, I'd probably give it like a snowman.
Don't even know what that means.
No, dude, you got the eggplant, you got the snowman, then you've got the hamburger.
You know what the eggplant is, right?
You got the peach.
Okay. And you know what that is, right?
You've got the car. That's the rating system. But not in that order.
That is a terrible rating system.
But not in that order.
That sounds like the worst. What's the order then? Well, it's car, eggplant.
No. I'll say this. I agree. I agree that it was, I would say it was around a B, I'll
give it a B just because it was a good match. I think it was very technical. I think they did a really good job. I just didn't like the layout. Like I said, I just didn't like the feel of it. It didn't get me excited. Like, don't get me wrong, I like slow matches. I like dude. For example, was it okay? A perfect example. Omega Okada 2. That was slow, dude, and it was an hour long, and they drug that thing out. I was invested the whole match.
You want to know how I watched that one, by the way? I watched that one getting ready for work. Somebody was like, I think it was you, told me I had to watch it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. I was in bed and I started thinking, like, oh, it's going to be like a 10, 15 minute match or whatever. And I'm like watching this. I'm like, dude, I got to get ready for work. And so I'm walking through my house all morning long watching this thing. And I just couldn't take my eyes off of it.
And it was an hour-long match.
And I was like having to get ready to leave.
It was
like,
an hour-long.
I had responsibilities.
And ended with a draw.
Yes.
Ended with a draw.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And so Okada can do fast, heavy-paced matches.
But that wasn't a fast-paced match.
Right.
The one I'm talking about was not a fast-paced match.
But it had more intensity. It had
That's
more...
what I'm saying. But because it was...
There was more to it than this match.
Calculated. It was meticulous. It was psychological.
Yeah.
That had beats of... There was so much story there. So I didn't feel that with Okada and Naito. I didn't feel invested. I didn't feel like, fuck, I gotta see. There got to be a point, and you might remember, there got to be a point where I said, Okada's gonna win this. Okada's gonna win. Like, it's the same. It just felt like the same Okada formula.
Yeah.
Like, beat him down. He's almost down, and then here he comes. Of course, because he's Okada. And it's like, okay, well, that was a waste.
Yeah.
So.
But all in all, I would say that match, I'd put it above anything the WWE's done.
By far. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now that we've got the pity party out of the way, who wants to hear us get real excited about New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yeah!
And put our happy faces on.
And every other match that was on the card.
So, I'm going to say that I put the Okada match as, I think, 5th in my favorite match of the night. 5th. That far down.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if hold on. Vamp for a second. Let me think. Hold on. Do something.
Well, I'll tell you what the matches I put ahead of the Kenny Omega, or not the Kenny Omega, the Okada and the...
Okay. Do we just want to talk about these matches as you bring them up?
No, I'm just going to say them out so people who watched it can know which matches I think were a little bit better. But I think that the Suzuki Goto match was incredible.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved the story.
It was fun. I liked it a lot.
Those are two old guys, not in their prime.
They were two older guys, but man, it was intense. Yeah. The whole match was super intense.
They went harder.
And Goto, man, that dude can take a beating.
Jeez, that 70 combo punch. It was amazing.
Ridiculous.
Then I would put Kyle Cody and Ibushi ahead of it.
Oh, that match was
fantastic
just great.
I loved what they did with
that. Had
with
so many
Brandy.
good things as far as Cody. Of course, you know me. I'm a big Cody mark, but Cody's character.
You were wearing the Cody shirt.
I
man.
was,
American
and
Nightmare.
I was, but the Cody, the whole character he was playing was so good. He was such a dick, and he was so like everything was wonderful.
He really came across as a heel, more so than he has in the past.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
He healed up the whole thing.
I feel like he's really starting to find his,
it was wonderful.
Exactly what
That
his
was a
character
great
is
match.
here. And then I would put, there's another one, the 4-way match. Dude, that was beautiful chaos.
That was so good. That whole match was so good.
And dude, I loved the spots. The spots were creative.
There were so many wonderful
They were
spots,
fresh.
and they all told a story. And are you still wanting to talk about all these matches individually?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll dive into.
Okay,
them.
because there was something I picked out later on.
Yeah, we'll go into.
But everything was great. There were so many good spots, so many good story moments. There were so many good big moments in that match that just were like, oh god, that might be my.
It's close, yeah. And then Kenny Omega and Jericho, obviously. I mean, that was just a raw, brutal, violent, disgusting.
Let's talk about that one.
Well, yeah,
it's the next one on the card, but I'm saying next one down. You know, I mean, dude, it far exceeded my expectations.
Yes.
I knew it was going to be a good match because I had a lot of faith in Chris Jericho, and I was the guy who was like the Chris Jericho apologist.
You can get it out.
I know.
I believe in you.
Because I burped. I was the Chris Jericho apologist. I was the guy that people who are just kind of more casual guys who just know Chris Jericho as this WWE guy and all that stuff. A lot of people, and they know him more modern, you know, a lot of people don't really know how, unless you're a wrestling fan, how really fucking good that guy is.
Yeah.
He's so
A lot
good.
of people's exposure to Chris Jericho is simply Dad Bod Jericho.
Right, and I think he just last night just proved it. It proved not only could he hang with literally the best of them, that he is the best of them, but he could hang hard and he could go hard.
Well, to do it at this point in his career where, you know, he's getting soft.
Yeah.
Physically, not mentally.
No.
He proved himself hard as
And
nails.
not even...
But he's getting some love handles.
Hold on. He looks soft. I don't think he is soft.
Right,
I think he
exactly.
looks soft because the shit he was doing and the shit he was pulling off and the amount of cardio that dude was showing. Dude, because they went...
I meant physically his body is soft to the touch.
Oh, he's a doughboy.
And he's never been a real ripped up dude.
Ripped dude.
But can you imagine if they had that match with Jericho 10 years ago?
Oh, jeez.
But Kenny would be like,
good Lord,
20 years old. Like,
well, and you know what? One of his best programs he ever did was 10 years ago. And this was 2008, the one he did with Shawn Michaels. And this kind of character that he was, this version of Jericho, was the closest to that I've seen in 10 years. Because he was ruthless, man. He was brutal. He was a dick. He was a heel, and he didn't care, and he loved it. And when he knocked over Red Shoes, man, and then he got Red Shoes' son and put him. And you know what I found really ironic about that later, and I didn't mention it last night. I don't know why I didn't say about it, but Red Shoes' son is a young lion, and he got him in the Lion Tamer. He didn't get him in the Walls of Jericho. He got him in a Lion Tamer.
Nice.
So he was literally taming a young lion.
I like it.
Like, I thought about that later on and was like, holy shit. That's fucking symbolism, dude.
Yeah.
But he knocks over this random dude and puts his kid in a lion tamer. That's awesome. And he was and the whole time, dude, he was brutal. And
oh yeah. Oh, dude, the chair shots, man.
Oh my god.
When I think back on that match, and I think about what was like the part where I was just like, oh god, please no. Two things come to mind. Where he just keeps hitting Kenny over and over and over and over, and Kenny's just like writhing around in pain for literally it seems like 10 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, realistically, it was probably 2 or 3, maybe a couple minutes, but still, that is a long time to just be beaten up over and over and over by a chair. And he wasn't just like, it wasn't 20 shots and done. It was like one big shot, go around, you know, pander to the crowd, beat his chest a little bit, then go back and hit him again. And, you know, it's just like, oh. It just gives him enough time to recover to just drop him again. And the other spot was when Kenny Omega freaking dove through the announcer's table onto the monitor. What is this guy made of?
You were screaming at the TV. You're going, no, Kenny! No! Don't do it! Don't do it!
You beautiful man! Think about your body. Think about my kids.
The whole match was just wonderful. And, and I think it exceeded people's expectations because they thought it was just going to be a no DQ, people running in, shit going nuts, trying to help out Jericho because he couldn't. We did not give Jericho enough credit. And what I mean by we is nobody. Nobody gave him enough credit because this match was just Jericho and Omega. And it was
the dirtiest clean match I've ever seen.
And it was nonstop. It was nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that was so when we saw that was a no DQ, we were like, well, great. That means Kenny Omega's going to lose, but he's going to lose dirty.
Right.
And then he's going to be able to save face or whatever. So that was, kind of freaking me out a little bit. But then to see how it went and to see that, no, they just literally made it a no DQ because they wanted to go freaking ham.
Because it was a brawl. It was a brawl. The whole time it was a straight up brawl. And then they went and they took it hard on the outside and then they came back in the ring. Here's what I thought was really great. They started off with a brawl. It was just boom, 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 anger, hate, rage, tables, chairs, all this shit. And they eventually made themselves back to the ring where it kind of became just a standard wrestling match. I mean, there was chairs and he was throwing them into the chair and stuff. But it became, they were pulling off their moves. They were pulling off a wrestling match. They were telling a story. And it was great. I mean, they told such a good story and they put on such a good match. And can we just talk about for a second the finish to that, where it was a one-wing angel onto a chair?
Is there a more powerful move than that in all of wrestling right now?
Right now?
Besides Roman Reigns' Superman punch. Besides Roman Reigns' standard punching somebody in the face. But really, I mean, is there anything more protected than the one-winged angel? And is there?
No.
I mean, really, the only way I think you could one up that is if you do it through a table, maybe.
Only one that I honestly can think of that is the most protected, and you're gonna go what? But when you think about it,
is it Carlito, whatever the snake thing?
No. The RKO. Nobody. I mean, there's only. It's rare when somebody like kicks out of it. And when they do, it's a big deal.
You know what? I'll agree to that only because of how easy it is to pull the RKO.
Right.
It is way too overpowered for how easy an RKO. It's a cutter, dude.
That's all it is. No, that's all it is.
I mean, it's literally
a diamond cutter.
It's a diamond cutter.
Do you not remember when we were at Comic-Con and I was like bitching about how much I hated Randy Orton and his fucking diamond cutter that everybody's like, it just takes one. If I swear to God, this is a sidebar. If I hear anybody ever again say it just takes one, I hate you, Randy Orton. No, you know what? I don't hate Randy Orton. I hate his move. I hate you, fucking RKO. I hate you, diamond cutter. I hate any sort of, besides Stone Cold, I hate any stunner out there.
What is happening? Are you having an internal conflict with yourself?
I think I am. I kind of just
Dr. Jekyll and...
Well, because just one moment I'm like, I hate when everybody does a cutter, and then I'm like, oh wait, Stone Cold's is kind of cool. Yeah. But because he was the only one that
he added the kick to it. That was his whole deal.
Well,
you add the little kick, and now it's amazing because you have to set it up.
His wasn't a cutter. His was it was a form of a cutter, but it was a head to the shoulder.
Well, and his whole deal was that he had the kick. Like he never just grabbed a Stone Cold Steve Austin cutter.
Randy Orton comes out of nowhere.
Why? What is wrong?
It only comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. So he pulls the stunner, and then but he
anyway
hit the kick, and then there's two things that can happen. You can block the kick. You can stop the stunner, but that there adds that little element of everybody going, oh crap, here it comes. Like it's coming. Whereas the cutter's just like, I don't know, or watch out. It's done.
And I'm sorry for getting off on that tangent. But
yeah, no, I agree. But that being said, I mean, Omega
it's very protected.
It's very protected.
Yeah.
And as far as I've seen in any Omega match, anytime he's hit the one-winged angel, it's been rope breaks. Okada got a rope break, and Jericho got a rope break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the question, what I like about the one-winged angel is a very technical move, and it's really hard to pull off. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to nullify. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just kind of step over.
You just get off of him. Yeah. You just get off his shoulders. Yeah, I'm just gonna hop off here. I really don't want to be up here.
But I love that thinking behind it. That it's you got to put I got to put you on my shoulder. I got to feed the arm through.
It's an unrealistic move that's presented as an unrealistic move.
Right.
You know what I mean? That
you can and
get
that's
it,
why it's so overpowered.
You can get it, but it takes time.
Yeah. And he's got other stuff that he can do. He's got the V trigger, and
which he pulls off multiple of.
Yeah.
He can do that any time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
he's got. It's nice. I really like that aspect of it because it is a really difficult, long move, and there's so much anticipation.
But when he hits it, it's
like
it's
over.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's over.
Mm-hmm. God, so good. So I just want to say, is Kenny taking years off of his life in these matches?
Probably.
I mean,
as much as everybody else is.
Ray always likes to joke about his wrestling age. You know, he says he's 35 in his wrestling age.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega is like 74 in wrestling years.
The dude's, but you know what? That's what makes him so good, is because he puts it all on the line. You can tell that at every match that he's in, he puts it all out there. Yeah. There's nothing. He gives all of himself to put on the best show possible.
Yeah. So true. And I think he even acknowledges that. I can't remember the quote now, but he had one quote that was really amazing.
Very similar to that.
I think it was when he won the U.S. Championship, and he was saying something along the lines of, you know, I'm doing this for you guys because every time I go out, I leave a little bit of myself with you guys.
Yeah, in every match.
Because literally he's, you know, I mean, dude, to do that 50 years old isn't going to be able to pick up change. You know? Like he's destroying his... Still real to me, damn it!
Still real to me, damn it. I was like, I know, you're really getting invested in this. Like,
I just want to thank you for all you put your bodies through.
Still real to me, damn it! Well, okay. I think we've said what we need to say about that match.
Yeah, do we need to talk... hold up. Let's talk about Switchblade for a second. The Switchblade match.
Okay.
Kenny Omega offered on Dash.
Yeah.
New Year's Dash. He offered to bring Switchblade into the Bullet Club.
Yep.
All right. So he gives him the shirt and he says, "Hey, why don't you put on this shirt here? It's got a little skull and some bullets on it.
Little Bullet Club action."
Yeah. And Switchblade was like, "Yeah, cool, sweet. This looks awesome."
Yeah. Puts
it on and then fucks Kenny's world up.
Yep. And then throws the shirt back. He does like the little cutthroat thing against the shirt and him, and then throws the shirt back, and which is awesome. I mean, like just like we were saying with Jericho and Naito, I think we're seeing a build up with Kenny and Jay, which I think would be great.
Yeah, because
Jay's very, very talented. Kenny's very, very talented. Jay needs a push. Kenny needs just to continue his, you know, and they may do it for his title. They may do it for. You know, I think that's great. I would love to see that match. I'd love to see that.
What would be cool too is if Jay is kind of this outsider.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of got this like dark, mysterious thing going on for him. Which, by the way, I really liked it. I really he turned himself around a little bit for me in this match.
He looked so. I guess we're going to go to that match now.
Well, we're just kind of talking about Switchblade and what that means.
He
to
looked
Bullet Club and
way cooler and more badass when he came out this time. And I don't know why.
I don't know.
But we both said that at the same time.
Yeah.
We were like, "Why does he look way more badass this time around?"
Because we shit on him last time.
Well, because he looks like not tough,
a little baby face.
But this match, he looked legit. He looked tough.
Great.
He looked great.
Yeah.
He looked menacing. He looked tough. Yeah. He looked like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like
and I think maybe it's just the development of his character, because he still kind of had this mysterious thing where we're like, who is this guy? What's going on? But maybe it was like the entrance, because the first time he didn't really have much of an entrance.
No, and this time he did.
And this one and he's got all like he's got the markings, the red markings now,
and
which is kind of cool.
His look was real good. The red and the black was really good.
His Switchblade necklace, which I know you hate, was a little bigger now, so it felt like it had some kind of...
Still don't like it, but it was bigger.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for him to actually pull a Switchblade on somebody in New Japan and be like, strong style!
People. Yeah, just shank style!
Dude, New Jack would do it.
Because New Jack does stab people.
He actually did that.
New Jack has stabbed more than one person.
The original Switchblade.
In the ring. New Jack is the OG Switchblade.
Dude, he's totally ripping off his gimmick, man.
No, he's just Shank. He's just Shiv. Shiv Jack. New Shiv. New Shiv.
Yeah. So with that whole thing with Jay White, and his whole how he's messing kind of with the Bullet Club right now, I think a Bullet Club split's coming.
I think so too. And we'll get more into that here in a minute with some other things that happened at the New Year Dash. Yeah. I think so too. I think there's either a split or some sort of There's got to be, because they're building this weird.
They're so big too. I mean, there's so many people.
There's
They have enough members to split and still be the same amount of members
Bullet
as
Club's
others.
already kind of split, and even the commentators have made comments about how like there's basically two sides to the Bullet Club.
Yeah,
there's the side that's the really popular side, like and I missed when we were counting on the Bullet Club members. I missed Hangman. There's the
Hangman.
There's Hangman. There is guys like Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny, Marty. Like those guys are all the really popular guys because of being the elite and stuff, and they're Bullet Club, and they've got the merch and Hot Topic, and they sell everything. Then you have all the other guys like the Tongas and Fale and Chase Owens and those guys, and the Tokyo Pimp, the Takahashi, that like a lot of people don't really.
So is the Elite enough of a name to split off into its own faction called the Elite?
It already kind of is. Because Kenny...
Because they kind of got their thing going, but is it enough to build an entire faction? Or is it enough to split Bullet Club and say Kenny, the Young Bucks are in the Elite, and then whoever comes over with them?
I mean, you could. They could do that, for sure.
And then Cody takes over Bullet Club.
But I was about to say, something like that would have to happen, because you'd have to keep some people...
And Cody would be a great leader.
Oh, but that's the whole point. And that's another thing that's going on right now, and they've been building that for... months.
They've been hinting at it.
They've
been kind of subtle about it, but
in the
summertime,
summertime they had some beef, like where they were pushing and shoving, just like they did at the New Year's Dash.
But I think they're going to start really going down that.
Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega had some shoving action, and they've been because you can tell Cody wants to be the leader. He thinks he's the best. He wants to be the leader, and Kenny is the leader, and he very much says, "I'm the leader," and he even said to him in the ring, he's like, "I'm the leader. You do what I say."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Real quick, going backwards real fast. I know we're kind of jumping all over the place. Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, final thoughts. What's your grade?
That was amazing.
What's your grade on that?
I'm going to go with the peach on this one.
Go with the peach?
Yeah.
Okay.
The peach emoji.
Okay. I'll go peach plus.
Woo!
Yeah.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, peach. I'll go peach. No, peach knows. Well, I don't know what a peach is. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Is that a B? Is that no? No,
it was fantastic.
Great match.
It was honestly
one of the best matches of the night.
I think it was my favorite match of the night, just because there was some stuff we had seen in that. Yeah. One, it surprised me.
Yeah,
I knew some of the other ones were going to be great, but the Jericho thing was a very happy surprise for me. I was really happy to see that.
Yeah,
and then two, I just think that they might have put more on the line than some other people did. Definitely than. Okada and Naito.
I mean, they put everything out there, and I think that they did. They stole the show. I mean, they did a really good job. So, next we can talk about. We kind of touched on a little bit, but Tanahashi and Jay White Switchblade.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fun. I mean, it was a good match. I mean,
yeah. It was the match itself was better than Tanahashi's ponytail he had going.
Oh my God, was that not the worst?
What I call it, the Malibu Barbie style.
Dude, he looked like a 14-year-old middle school girl. I did not like it. He had the ponytail with the bangs. That's the thing. It was the bangs. It wasn't like it was just a ponytail with braids.
There was the braids and there was the colors.
It was just he looked like a character in a Doki Doki game.
It was so awkward.
It was
so
weird.
awkward.
It was weird. I kind of wanted to date him. Is that weird?
No. I mean, would you tell him that you didn't want to date him if he asked you?
If he wanted to date me?
Yeah. I wouldn't tell him no.
I wouldn't tell him no.
Yeah? So I think it's okay.
He's the kind, he'd just take it.
Take the... No, we're not going to go down that route. No. Sponsor us, please.
Yeah.
To me, the big thing about this was the introduction of Jay White. He did well against Tanahashi. Well. I felt like if Tanahashi would have squashed him, then Jay White would never come back and he'd never recover from that. But Jay White did great.
He's awesome.
His character is starting to make sense now. I kind of see the direction they're taking him.
He beat ass too, man. They made him look tough. They made him look good. I mean, he's
got a good finisher.
He's got a good finisher. He looked strong. He looked tough. He looked good. I mean, we all knew that. Did we? What did we call in that one?
I think we said Jay White was going to win because we thought Tanahashi was going to have to take time off to get his bicep knee
But
fixed.
again, like New Japan does, he's another Superman.
New Japan.
He's another, those aces, man. They don't want him to lose. They want,
It's fine. I mean, that was one that it would have been nice to see Jay White go over. But I think I like where they're going to take this.
Overall, I think it was a really great match. I really enjoyed it.
And to me, something we have to consider too, after seeing how Wrestle Kingdom went, the Japanese culture is so much about respect.
Oh yeah,
everything is about respect.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, they respect those titles. They're not just going to give them up like
they respect the titles. They respect the wrestlers.
Right. They respect the art. They respect the and you can tell like when a lot of times. These guys, whenever they're working, they sell. They make it look like it's real. They sell things. Not only do they sell, but they work strong. They work hard. They hit hard. It seems like it's an actual fight, and that's good. And that's what this felt like. It felt like a really good fight, a good match. I liked.
You know who else sells and just sells some more? Ray Martinez. Oh, is that the different kind of sell?
I think you're shill, and
shilling and selling.
He's not
self-promoting.
Self-shilling, self-promoting.
I see, yeah.
Hi, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
But,
hey, listen to our podcast, and don't be mad at us for messing up your match.
You think he's still mad at us?
I promise you he's still mad at us. We're going to have to make him listen to this podcast so he can see that we're sincere in our apology.
I don't want him to be mad at me anymore. I kind of think he hates me a little bit now.
I mean...
Maybe not hates me, but I think he's still mad at me. He shouldn't be, though. He hugged me. He told me he wasn't, but he could be lying.
We'll see. Ray, please don't hate us.
Ray, please love us again. Be our dad again.
If it helps, you looked like you took a really big bump and it looked really good. Dan looked really super strong.
Yeah. He did.
Oh god!
But overall, it was a good match. It was fine. It was like nothing. I mean, it was nothing spectacular. It was not like the greatest match on the card, but it was good. It was a good match. Told a good story, and I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was fine. It was not in my. I would put it behind Naito and Okada, just because. There really wasn't a whole. It didn't feel like a championship match. It felt like Jay White's coming out party.
Yeah, I agree.
So it was fine. It was a snowman.
Well,
I can't even remember all of them now.
I don't even. Well, you gave Okada a snowman. Okada.
All right, that's fair. Okay, then this one's a cactus.
I don't even know what's happening. The next match,
dude. Yes.
So the.
I love this match so much.
Yeah. So the 4-way junior heavyweight title match with Marty Scurll, Will Ospreay, Kushida.
We were wrong again. But still a great match. So worth
awesome
being
match.
Wrong.
This might be my favorite match of the night.
Dude, it's up there, man.
This might be my favorite match of the night. It was so good. This stole the show for me.
I might say it. I think I put it right behind Kenny.
It's either... Man, they're so like, I keep finding things that I like about both of them but this one was just, yeah, I put it right up there with them. They're side by side. I mean, but this match was just so good. There were so many good spots, such a good story. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but man, this match was just so good. Everybody put on such a good match. Like even from the start of the match when they all got in there and Marty rolled out.
Yes.
And then he would come in and like throw punches and then roll out again.
He'd roll out just to like break up a pin.
Yeah, and then he'd roll into to break up a pin. It was awesome. Like I loved his whole strategy. He was truly the villain in this match.
Yes.
And we said that it was going to be Hiromu Takahashi taking it.
Dude, did you hear the pop that he got, dude?
Yep.
Like there was as soon as he untied himself and ran in, dude, the crowd went ham.
He went crazy, or they went nuts, and they were popping for him,
dude. Huge. More than anybody out there.
And everybody did good in this match. They put on a really good match. They had the broken finger spots, of course. Marty taping up Hiromu to the
yes,
and then them going on the outside and Will Ospreay doing a he
off
did like
the scaffolding.
off a scaffolding, like a lighting thing, and then fighting in the crowd.
I mean, he wasn't no Shane McMahon, but
no, he wasn't no Shane McMahon. But it was. I mean, they all put on such a good show.
Yeah,
and we were wrong.
I loved that everybody brought something new to that match. It's so easy to get a bunch of people in a match and they just come across as generic because it's like, oh, you got the wrestler who's trying to do the big spots, you got the other wrestler who's trying to do the big spots, they're just trying to out big spot each other and stuff. But this was awesome because everybody brought something unique and valuable. And really, let's say the big spot guy was Takahashi. I mean, as soon as he got untied, he just started spamming his specials,
dude. And it was a contrast of styles. There were so many different styles, and they all meshed. You wouldn't think they would all mesh so well, but they did. And one of the big ones for me was Takahashi when he would come in and do that, like, I don't know what it was, that like
sunset
powerbomb off the
I love
off the side of the ring, off the apron, and then he did it to Marty and did it to Kushida.
I don't remember,
but
yeah, Ospreay.
That's right.
Because Ospreay took it hard. I remember being like, that's it, he's dead.
He's dead.
So you had him spam. Those are all his power moves. Like he ran in and literally, when I can't remember the time bomb. I think is what's the other one?
I forgot what it's called.
Something bomb. It's something. Yeah, he did that. His other special, which is like, pretty strong too. I mean, he hits that and it usually matches are over. And we thought it was over until somebody ran in. I think it was like Kushida or somebody kicked him out. And then Kushida was doing more of like just kind of the standard wrestling, really just being real technical and real clean. And then you got Ospreay obviously doing the
flippy
shit and doing the high spots. And then you got Marty who is doing the classic villain and two just doing the old school wrestling that he does,
the British style,
I love it,
old school British style. That's the slow method. It's awesome. It all works so well together.
And just seeing how they all clashed with one another, and Marty would get the one up on everybody, and then Ospreay would do some huge move, and then he'd be the one that was on top. And I mean, it just the power struggle there was really great. How it was just like back and forth until ultimately Will Ospreay came out.
Will Ospreay did win, but one of the things that I thought about that was really cool was, that I thought about, or actually I heard somebody say that it was cool, and it made me think of it in a new perspective because I really did want Takahashi to win, but Will Ospreay winning because he had it before, and this is the first time he was successful against Marty Scurll. This was the first time he finally beat his rival. He beat his
Wrestle
foe.
Kingdom.
At Wrestle Kingdom. This was his moment. It's cool. He finally got one over on fucking Marty Scurll.
Did he pin Marty or did he pin Hiromu?
I don't remember. I think he pinned Hiromu.
Yeah, I can't remember who he pinned.
But still, though, the idea that he finally got one over on him. He finally was successful against him.
He pinned Marty.
He might have pinned Marty. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. And I'm sorry.
Didn't he win with a cutter?
Yeah.
I think Marty jumped into it real well. Like looked really good.
I think you're right.
He might have pinned Marty.
He may have.
I didn't think about that till just now.
I don't remember.
That's pretty cool though. Yeah, that was a great match.
But it's cool though that he finally got his comeuppance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I still wish Hiromu would have taken it because I love him so much.
But
hey, did you see the new garb that Daryl came out in?
I did. His little mask.
Beautiful.
He was so cute.
He was repping the luchadores.
He was a luchador Daryl.
That was amazing.
So ultimately, like I said, this might have been my match of the night. I really loved it. Everything about it made me really happy. It was a good match. Really good match.
It was fantastic. I put it up there just right behind Kenny Omega.
Yeah. I give this one a duck.
A duck?
A duck.
Do you want to specify which kind of duck or just a generic?
Just a mallard with little swimmy feet.
Okay.
It's got little lines with the swimmy feet.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like it. You paint a wonderful picture.
Yeah. An emoji picture.
You're like Bob Ross with words.
That may be the sweetest thing you've ever done to me.
Are we about to make out right now?
Again?
That never happened. It happened. It didn't happen. It happened. Yeah.
What? You're like, it didn't happen. It happened. It didn't happen. It happened.
All right, so we're gonna keep moving our way backwards. We got, dude. I loved this match. So
that was
much.
good. This was
Suzuki and Goto.
The never open weight hair versus hair championship match.
And what's funny is when we talked about the preview, we didn't really know a whole lot about Goto. Nope. We kind of did our research on him and looked into it and figured out kind of who he was after that last one.
We learned a little bit about him and kind of what this match meant for him.
Yeah.
Going into it, it was really interesting. It was a really good story.
Really got us involved.
Yeah, and you're immediately invested when you hear the story and you hear the commentators talk about him and how, you know, he was once one of these guys that was on top. You know, he was one of the guys that, and it slowly kind of had a downfall and hasn't really been able to pick himself back up. And this was his moment to build himself back up. It was make or break time.
Yeah.
And I think what was cool is at one point, you know, because it is a hair versus hair match, so whoever loses has to get their head shaved. Mm-hmm. And one of the, you know, Don Callis said at one point, he said it shows you how important this match is and how it is when a guy like Goto is willing to
shave his head,
be humiliated and show shame and that kind of thing in front of people just to get one more shot.
Yeah, just to get his last shot. Yeah, and that's some people thought that this might be his rock bottom. You know, the
Make
hair shaved, and if he's done, if he breaks, if he loses this match, then that would be. That'd be it. And then maybe it'd be the redemption aspect or just the complete burial. Either way.
Which you almost thought that's what they were doing because Suzuki beat the shit out of him.
Oh my god.
It was like a squash match, dude. And it was so hard hitting. I think the reason I like this match so much, it was just fucking intense. Hard hitting, dude. Like, I mean, I know that it's New Japan and it's strong style and that's what they do, but man, they were going at it, and you just felt like it was just a fight.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's just so raw. You got Will Ospreay doing backflips. You got the Young Bucks doing front flips, and you got all these. You got Kenny, jumping through tables and stuff like that. But this was just an old school
brawl, man.
It's a bar brawl, man.
I'll tell you something right now. It reminded me of watching old Tank Abbott back in the day, just going out there slugging it out.
Hey, we don't talk about that real stuff, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, I do. I do talk about the real stuff.
What is real? No, but really, it felt like a brawl. It felt like a slugfest. It felt like just these two guys. And for most of it, for like the good first portion of it, Suzuki just beat the shit out of him.
Dude, and what just kept choking him out? Dude, I loved the spot where he climbed up to the top ropes and was choking him out.
Yeah, that was good.
And just dropped him.
And it was hanging him by his arm. Oh,
and
that was
good. He just dropped him
sick.
And he just face planted. Oh, dude, that was
cool.
so cool. I loved that spot. And then the where he just kept hitting him and kept hitting him and kept hitting him.
Yep.
Until it had to seriously have been like 70 punches. Like,
oh yeah.
It was like slaps and punches to the gut.
Non-stop. And then after that, Goto slowly makes this comeback. And he makes this slow comeback and just starts slugging it out. And then eventually beats Suzuki for the championship.
Yeah. And I loved the ending.
Loved it.
I just
loved it.
The storytelling and all this.
The storytelling with this one was so good.
I want the WWE to watch this. And just to show you how you can tell a story without having to have a microphone.
Right.
Did any of them say a single word?
Not a word. And none of these matches did.
Yeah, Okada said something afterwards.
You were able to say everything. You were able to say it all just with the match. And after they got finished, Suzuki gets up. He gets pulled out by Suzuki Gun.
This was amazing.
Right? Gets pulled out by Suzuki Gun, right? They're all
they're protecting him.
And they're protecting him, and they're like screaming shit at Goto, and they're all pissed off. And then at one point, and they bring out the stuff to shave his head, and you think he's just walking away. He's not going to shave his head.
It looks like they're bitching out on the agreement.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting away on the agreement, and they're taking him back, going, fuck this, you don't need to do that. And then Suzuki pushes everyone away, shoves them all off, and staggers back to the ring. And snatches the clippers from Goto.
Kicks the chair out of the way.
Oh, I forgot
because he wasn't even going to sit.
He wasn't even going to sit in Goto's chair. He kicked Goto's chair away, put another chair down, put another chair down in the ring, and then snatched the clippers away and shaved his own head.
Because he is just the ultimate badass. Like that is the most badass.
He wasn't going to bitch out on the deal, but he wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of doing it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you're Suzuki,
you already took my championship. You're not going to take my hair.
Right, and that's his whole deal. That's why he gets mad. Is he does what Suzuki wants to do.
Yep.
But buried beneath all that layer of just callous and pissed off rage that he is this little semblance of respect and honor.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful storytelling.
Love it.
And it's just so I thought I gained so much respect in his loss. I gained more respect for Suzuki in his loss than if he would have won and just shaved the other guy's head.
I agree.
Plus, we already got to see him shave some poor guy's head.
Yeah.
That poor young lion.
Yep. Poor boy. Poor young boy.
So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. They went so hard, and dude, these guys have already proved themselves. Yeah, they don't
have to do anything, but they went out there and they put on the best fucking show they could, and it was good.
Yeah, and they come from a generation where, I mean, they were around when like Misawa was doing this thing, and those guys were just tough as nails.
Well, that just shows what these guys were doing. They were just tough, and they just wanted to put on a tough show, and that's what they did.
And he's still taking some spots where I'm just like, dude, you're almost 50 years old, and he's taking those spots. But I just think his whole body, I'm sure he's
just a giant callus.
Yeah, I bet you I seriously bet you he hurts all the time, every day of his life, and that's just how he is.
He's just a big toe.
Yeah.
He's just a big toe, like that, like from like a steel work boot. He's just somebody's big toe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. All right, so moving on. Oh my gosh, maybe one of the biggest beatdowns I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was okay. So this next match was the tag team championship, the IWGP heavyweight tag team championship, with Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer, who are the Killer Elite Squad, and Sonata and Evil, who are part of ILJ or IJ.
LIJ?
LIJ. God, I'm tired.
Ingobernables los de Japón.
De Japón.
De
Japón.
Japón.
De Japón.
I don't know. It's Los Ingobernables
de Japón.
De Japón.
That's not right. I still think you're wrong. But man, Killer Elite Squad beat the shit out of these two.
Specifically, Evil. Evil was dead for 75% of that match.
And they were so much bigger. They looked like giants.
Well, and the first thing they did was their finisher.
The opening move they did was their finisher.
And Evil sold the hell out of that.
Yeah, you thought they killed him.
Yeah.
There was one point I was like, is he hurt? Did he die? Is he dead?
I mean, it was 5 minutes into the match, and Evil had not moved. Neither of them had landed a punch.
No. And I don't know how many choke slams Sonata took from Lance Archer that were like over his head.
And the best part was Sonata was the first person to actually hit a move.
Yeah.
And between Sonata and Evil, he's the first person to land, and it was a botched cock kick.
It was.
He went to kick him in the side, and Lance Archer was supposed to catch it, but he missed it. Yep. So technically, he landed this little bitchy ass kick. And I was like, oh, that's how you're gonna start the match. Like, this is his comeback. Like,
here's the bit of comeback. So, but I do like the kind of story they told here, though. These two big gaijins who've had the belts for a while, and they just wrecked shop, dude, and they just beat ass. And
hey, real quick,
yeah,
I just noticed something.
What?
You didn't ask in the Suzuki and Goto match. Who'd you pick for that one there, Gilbert?
You took two big white guys who are these gaijin dudes.
Just for the record, the Suzuki and Goto match was the only match that we differed on, and I picked Suzuki to lose. And that gave me the little one-up on
Yep.
old Kellenberg over here. Yep. All right, continue. What were we talking about? There's Sonata and Evil.
Still a piece of shit, Logan.
But I'm a winning piece of shit.
Oh, you're the worst. You're just the worst. So it was just, it was a beatdown. It was a squash match. And these two giant dudes were beating the crap out of these guys almost the entire match until they slowly started to turn it around, and I loved the way they turned it around, where they were doing things that felt real, like real things they would have to do, like Sonata hitting like drop kick after drop kick after drop kick after drop kick just to start staggering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the same thing with, Evil. Even though Evil was considered somewhat kind of big in New Japan, like one of the bigger guys, I'd say.
He's not big compared
compared to these two, dude. But I like the way they pulled it out. And then they ended up winning. They ended up winning the heavyweight tag team championships, and it was a great match. It's just brutal. It was tough. It was a tough, hard-hitting, strong match.
Yeah, it was, even though it was hard to watch at the beginning, not because it was bad, but because it was just hard to see somebody get squashed so hard.
That hard.
It was a fantastic match. I would give this match 5 water bottles, one for each bottle that Lance Archer came out with to spit all over the crowd.
God, so many water bottles.
He had one in his hand.
He was pulling them out of nowhere. Like at one point, he was pulling them as if they were just like out of thin air, like it was a magic trick.
Yeah, he had
Need to cavity search that boy.
He had one in each of his front pockets.
Yep.
He had 2 in his back right
pockets,
pocket.
Yeah.
And then he had one in his hand, and then at some point he just found another one in the middle of the match.
Yeah, out of nowhere. We were like, where did that water bottle come from?
Where was that one at?
I think he shook it out of his pant leg, fell out of his butt.
Got slammed a little too hard. Oh, there's that other one.
There's that. Oh, got it.
Found it.
But yeah, it was a great match, and I think we called that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That was one of the ones we got.
Finally, somebody with momentum won.
Next match, Kota Ibushi and Cody. This was an awesome match.
Great. Fantastic
Super good match. One of the strongest matches of the night, for sure. My biggest thing with this one was Cody, man. Cody's storytelling. Cody's character. Just,
I feel like he's kind of turning it up, man.
He is. And I love what, and again, we talked about New Year's Dash, but him going against Kenny for that leadership, and they just keep butting heads. And the reason they did that was because they had a match tonight, and they were about to like destroy Kota with a chair.
Yeah.
And Kenny slid in and saved him and quit and pushed Cody away, and that's when they got into it and butted heads. Sorry.
Are the Golden Lovers about to?
I don't know. They
rekindle an old flame,
just like with Cody and Kenny. How they've been having this back and forth since the summer. They've been kind of also doing this thing with Kota and Kenny.
What if Kota is going to be what splits up the Bullet Club?
I don't know about that. That might be a little bit of a stretch.
But it could be.
I mean, he could be kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back. But I think it's going to be something with Cody, because it's going to be Cody and Kenny, and that's going to cause a split. I'm really just
because you never fight people in your faction.
No,
you never.
No. And they are coming closer and closer each time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that match will be fireworks,
and it could be boiling over.
Yeah. And so what's awesome is, for those of you who don't know, and I'm just starting to learn about this myself, back in the day, and I'm going to misspeak here, but I think it was DDT.
No, you're right.
Ibushi and Kenny were tag team partners, but the joke was that they were the Golden Lovers, and it was always kind of this hint that they were just more than tag team. They were definitely partners of some sort.
Sexual tension.
Yeah, and so but the cool thing about this is that Kenny says that he's been offered to fight Ibushi 3 times already. Yep. They've asked him to fight, and all 3 times he's turned it down because he says that there's a past there, and that he wants to tell a story there, and he wants to build up to it. He doesn't want to just randomly go, just throw it out there for no reason.
Something more. But here's what I think. I think they're slowly building towards that, because since the summer, they keep having these passing by moments where they're kind of telling the story that like something is building between them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but anyway. Yeah.
So I think what'll happen is I would be cool to see Kenny and Ibushi start teaming up a little more, and having a stronger bond there that pulls the bond apart. Because what did he say? He said, Cody said something to Ibushi, like, Kenny loves me more than he'll ever love you, or something like that.
It could be a jealousy thing.
It could
be a jealousy thing. And they are butting heads already, so now him defending him just shows he's giving favor over Ibushi than. I love it. I love it.
It's
the whole
little like love triangle.
I love the whole story.
And I think it's going to have Bullet Club ramifications.
I think the most important thing is I love you, Cody. I love you so much. I love Cody.
He's a beautiful dude.
And this match was so good, and I loved how heel he was, and I loved how classic just dickhead he was, and I loved how he was using Brandy. And
that was my favorite part of the match.
My favorite part of the match was when Coda jumped out and did a cross body, and Brandy took all of it.
All of it, dude.
She took the whole thing.
When it first happened, we were just like, oh, is that supposed to happen?
Dude,
like, if it was supposed to happen, it wasn't supposed to happen that way.
She took the whole thing and laid there, and Coda, trying to be this, chivalrous babyface, picks her up, and Cody fucking decks him in the face,
and he just drops.
And then and then she drops, and then Cody drops down beside her, and then they both just start laughing.
And I love it. And they laughed in
each
other's
faces like this was the plan. Look what happened. And I was like, oh yes, thank you. It's so good.
Yes.
It's so good storytelling. However, I will say we lost again because Ibushi won and we were wrong again.
But what was so cool about this match was it was one, you look at Tokyo Pimp and what he does with his lady that comes out. What's her name? Muffin Ass or something like that?
It's like Muffin Butt or something. It is something like that. Her real name is like Petai, something Petty, something like that, something.
Yeah.
And then
but
her like Instagram handle is like
Muffin
Ass or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but she just comes out. She has no significance. He's just there to have her show off and shake her ass to the crowd. And that's it. Whereas, Brandy comes out with Cody Rhodes, and she has purpose for being there, and her being a wrestler helps.
Well, her being a wrestler helps, but
she's not just a hot piece of ass.
But it's his wife, and I love that it's his legitimate wife, and I love that they've incorporated her because she is a baddie. She is a heel. She is. Mm-hmm. She makes him better. She makes him worse. You know what I mean? Like in the best way. Yeah. Like. So,
and now that I think about it, there's no women in New Japan at all. I guess I've never thought about it, but there are no women in New Japan.
I guess you're right. No,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
They don't have divas.
I guess. Well, they don't have divas in WWE either anymore. Logan, how'd you get with the friggin' times? They have women's champions.
I missed the butterfly belt.
It's the women's revolution. Okay. I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, but you know what? I'm not even going to say it. But there are certain people in that roster who are really, really good and never wouldn't have gotten a chance because of the way they look.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who are super good and are getting a really good push and really good chances right now, but because of the way that they look, would not be getting the opportunity back then.
So I guess that's what maybe stood out with. I never really thought about it much, but maybe that's what made me so excited to see Brandy actually making a point in that match. Is you never see women work in New Japan,
and it's nice to see.
That was awesome.
But ultimately,
those damn Americans coming over.
It was just really good
bringing
match.
Their feminism and their progressive thinking over to our New Japan bullshit. Like, I can't believe they're just New Japan just going down in blazing glory and all these women coming in here doing their shit.
I'm telling you what we're going to do about Hellfire Brimstone. I'm tired of fucking women and children and hepatitis.
No, we're super happy, and I would love to see more.
I would love
to see more women working there.
Yeah, I would love it, but I guess you're right. Yeah, you don't see it very. You really don't even see many. You don't really see many like valets or anything either. So even her being there was,
Dude, Tokyo Pimp paving the way for women's rights.
Yeah, hell yeah, he is. But ultimately though, that match was just awesome. It was a good match. Fantastic. I really enjoyed it. So let's keep on keeping on here, and we're getting closer.
This was the one we were most off on. Actually, we had one thing right on the never open weight 6-man tag team gauntlet championship.
No, I'm not going to go. I don't know. I mean, we can't say a whole lot about this match. It was a good match. The only thing we said that we got right, because we guessed that War Machine would win unless they came out first. Sure enough, they were there first, and I think they were like one of the first people to lose. They were. And you know what's funny? And I guess I forgot or just didn't know or wasn't paying attention. But I forgot that War Machine and Elgin hate each other.
I didn't know that.
Hate each other.
Interesting.
Like, have been having this really bad feud and, like, do not like each other at all.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I think Road to Destruction was featuring that.
Yeah.
I think.
It might have been on it, yeah.
I know they were there. I can't remember, though.
But this match kind of didn't play out at all like we thought it would.
Not at all.
I think the final two teams were Chaos, which is Beretta, Yano, and Ishii.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can't remember who they beat.
I don't remember. Was it
Suzuki-gun that they beat? I can't remember.
Or was it?
Because I know Juice was out early.
It was Suzuki-gun. It was Suzuki-gun. So because the last two were Chaos and Suzuki-gun, and Chaos pulled it off, and Yano.
The one guy we were like, no matter what, Yano was never gonna win this.
And you know what? Not only didn't Yano get the pin,
yeah, and he had more match time,
more ring time than anyone else in the entire match. Yano was in the ring more than any other person. I want to go back and time it because I promise you that's the case.
Dude, it was a great match. It was fine. This wasn't one that I would put over.
No, it was good. It was good. It was just with these big.
A mediocre New Japan match is like the greatest
WWE match.
Really, just any match of any other promotion.
It was a great match. It was fun. It was a good starter. It was a good way to kick it off and to get things kind of going and get pumped about it. But there's not a whole lot to say about it. It was a good match. It was good. Yeah. I can't believe Yano got the pin though. It's nuts.
Freaking Yano.
Yano was the star of that one.
All right, and then I forgot about this one. The IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship. Yo and Show. Yep. Roppongi 3K, 3K, 3K.
Roppongi 3K, 3K, 3K. Roppongi 3K, 3K, 3K. Something. Roppongi. So I don't remember the word.
Got it. Nailed it.
And then nailed it.
Challenger team: Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson, aka the Bucks of Youth.
The Young Buckos.
The Young Buckos.
This was a really good match, and I think it's what you expect a Young Bucks match to be. It was a lot of really cool choreographed looking stuff. Mm-hmm. I liked this one actually felt a little toned down for them. They weren't quite as.
They definitely didn't go over the top. I think you can't at something like Wrestle Kingdom.
I think so too. I think
they still had some fun where they had like the two locks,
but there wasn't as many crazy super kicks. There wasn't as many.
I think they have to tone down kind of like the
think you're
fourth
right
wall
too.
there.
And they did, and not only that, but there were some great spots in this match. There was I really liked the whole Yo and Matt Jackson had hurt their backs.
Yeah.
In different ways in different parts of the match, and they were both struggling with back issues throughout the whole match, and that put a really cool kind of. But what I liked about it is that they didn't build the match around it. It just was another element of the match. Because so many times, if you ever see anybody start selling that they're injured, it's like, oh, he's gonna just follow that whole thing the whole way through the match. He's gonna target the knee. He's gonna target the neck. He's gonna do whatever. But really, it came into play a couple times. It did.
But it was just nice because it just added a very small creative element that made it just feel different.
And it ended with the Young Bucks coming out on top, getting their fourth championship.
I think they had already had 4, so maybe 5.
Maybe 5? Might have been their 5th. They got their 5th one with a Meltzer driver into a sharpshooter. Yeah. And the sharpshooter is what put them away. Put the which is really cool to see that they won with a submission. The Young Bucks won with a submission. Yeah. Thought that was really neat. And there wasn't a lot of there was like no comedy in Wrestle Kingdom. There was no. You know what's funny? The only comedy spot I can think of, which was really funny and really like well done, was Kenny with the cold spray.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny because it was so unexpected.
But he sprays Jericho in his eyes. Jericho's selling the eyes, and he starts spraying his body off, and then he sprays his crotch and like crosses his eyes, and the crowd popped for it huge. And it was a great little, just kind of. Little thing he did that was really, really good.
Do you think that what's the announcer's name? I can't remember. You know who it
Don
is.
Callis?
Yeah. Do you think Don Callis kind of gave an FU to Jim Cornette when he was like, anybody that doesn't like Kenny Omega can just go take a flying leap off a cliff or something like that. He said something like that.
Oh, go to hell. He was like, take a flying leap into hell.
Yeah, go to hell.
He's like, all the haters. He's like all the people who hate on Kenny Omega. He's like, you can go take a flying leap into hell or something like that.
Do you think that was him digging
Possibly.
at Cornette?
Possibly. Probably. I think a lot of people dig at Cornette on a regular basis.
Oh, grumpy bastard.
But yeah, it was a great match. Ended well. Looked good. It was a good way. It was a great way to start. It was a great way to stay in shape. It was a great way to start it.
Yeah, it was good. The main card for sure.
And we were wrong about that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I was right about Suzuki winning over Goto.
Anyway, the first match to start off was which brings us to the end here, or the beginning, however you want to think about it. We kind of Quentin Tarantino'd this thing, but it was the opening match, the Rumble. It was a Rumble. It was.
Who was the weird dude? The Phantasm or something?
Destroyer?
No, Disillusion? No.
No, it was something.
I can't remember, but the guy was like super silly.
He was really silly, and I think he was at New Year Dash too.
The best part was that he got pinned, kicked out at 2. So I can't remember who was pinning him. Delirium or something.
Delirious?
I think it's Delirium. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter because he got pinned. He kicks out at 2, and so the guy just repins him, and he gets the 3 count.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because that was great. He like barely lifts his shoulder up, and he just puts him back down and beats him.
That was great. This was a sentimental match. I think it was really cool that Kento got to win. He came back from battling cancer, and I just thought that was nice. And you know what? I really liked that it came down to Cheeseburger and Kento.
I did too.
The two least likely to win, and then it gave Kento a believable opponent to beat. You know, Cheeseburger's he's such an interesting guy in the first place.
Yeah, and his physique is nothing like you would imagine.
Yeah, so it was just nice that they didn't feed like Loa Tonga to
right, exactly, which he was in there.
Kento, you know, and we called Kitamura winning, and if he wasn't the first person out there, like I was just like, oh well, we got this one wrong. So that was our start to the night of missing so many of these matches. Was our number one pick for the Rumble actually being the number one person out there, and he did fine, but
he did well, and he lasted for a while. But he was.
Did you hear?
The second they brought him out as number one, though, we knew.
Did you hear that they're already talking about his excursion?
Excursion.
Yeah. You know.
What?
When they graduate from being Young Lions, man.
Yeah.
He's going to go off. They're already talking about. They're saying sometime this year he's going off to do his excursion. And then he'll come back as some amazing. It's the way they do it.
No, I know.
So Jay White did it. That's how.
Yeah, they'll bring him. They
send him off.
They send him off, and then they come back as their character or whatever they are.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. He'll be great.
Hey, what's he gonna come back? Doink. Somebody's gonna be Doink.
No, he's gonna be the Yeti.
The Yeti.
The Yeti.
Who did we say that was gonna be the clown? Oh, we said Naito. If Naito dressed up as Doink. So if Naito's not coming back as Doink, then I definitely think that. I think Kitamura is going to be the most legit Doink.
He'll be the best Doinks of all the other Doinks.
Hey, we know a guy that wrestled a Doink. I don't know if it's the Doink.
It was a Doink. Pat wrestled a Doink.
What of 753 Doinks?
There's been several Doinks. Yeah, just like there have been like 6 tiger masks.
Oh, dude, yeah, they were pulling everybody's mask off, too.
They were. The mask stuff in the Rumble was cool. And they had to, like, roll out with, like, shirts over their heads and stuff. And, like, that was actually one of the reasons that Desperado got pinned is because his mask was off.
Which is cool because you always see I'm going to get your mask, but it never comes off. But it was like...
It's pretty cool.
It was like, whoa, they got the mask off. It actually happened.
Yeah, for sure. It was cool.
Cool. Well, anything else you want to add to this beautiful, wonderful podcast?
I don't think so.
We stayed up all night for to watch New Japan, and now we're skipping work the next day to record, and we are not doing this 3 days later after the fact.
It's only like 1 day later.
Was it 1 day?
It
feels like it's been an eternity. I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep right now.
No, it's literally been 1 day.
Okay.
The one thing I will say is thank you all so much for 525 views on our.
I mean, like 7,000 on our other channels.
On our podcast. We really appreciate it. It's great. It's awesome that you guys are listening. That's cool.
Yeah, and feel free to leave comments. We'd love to have discussions with you guys.
Oh, I'd love to talk to you guys.
Unfortunately, the comment we had last time was in Japanese, so if you can speak English, that'd be awesome. But if if you're more interested in doing Japanese or whatever, we could use Google Translate.
We can do it.
I'm not above sending you some broken English or Japanese or whatever.
None of it will come out right, but it'll be fine.
They'll be like, "Why is he talking about my dog?" And
I'm so glad you said dog.
Potatoes and...
I thought you were going to say dog. Why is he talking about my dog?
No, that's if you DM me.
I'll send you a DM. But thank you guys so much. Wrestle Kingdom's over. We did it.
With no spoilers.
We made it.
Woo!
We made it, guys. We made it through Wrestle Kingdom. And hopefully we'll keep everyone posted on whatever else happens in New Japan, and we'll keep up with it.
Let's chill ourselves a little bit. Ray's not around to do it, so somebody's got to do it. So you can follow me, Logan, on Instagram. That's the best way, I would say.
Me too.
And that's Proxima, PROXIMA _bear, BEAR, Proxima Bear. And if you're wondering, that means Space Bear. Look it up. And then the other thing is feel free to obviously like and subscribe. I'm going to do this at the end because I can't stand the people who
do it
are like a minute into it and they're like, oh yeah, I guess we're going to finally start talking about what we're going to talk about. But seriously, like and subscribe. That's going to help us out. And feel free to share with your friends and follow Kelbert. Kelbert. Kelbert77.
I'm Kelbert77 at on the Instagrams.
At Instagram.com.
On the Instagrams. That's about the only place I really am. I don't do the Twitter. I don't have a Facebook. I have a Facebook, but I don't use it. So best place to reach me at or see my stuff is there.
And if you're anywhere in the Midwest, you can see us actually wrestle luchador style in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we are Los Rudosos. And I am El Vandaloso.
I am Osito.
And, oh my gosh, wait. Isn't our identity supposed to be secret?
Oh, I guess it is.
We know a guy that wrestles out of, a couple guys actually, that wrestle out of Elote.
A couple real good dudes.
And they wrestle. They are the Punk Rock Pandas. They are Los Rudosos. Definitely not us. And it's just another couple.
Really sweet dudes.
Yeah. Beautiful faces. Huge. We're talking monstrous muscles.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Muscles.
Tiny penises. like that.
The biggest baby dicks you've ever seen.
The good part is all the listeners are gone at this point.
They're done. They're done. We're just talking to ourselves. Yeah. We're alone in a room. Literally.
All right, that's it. You ready to take us home?
Yeah.